If you want to feel more confident, magnetic, and worthy, this is the most powerful journaling method that I'd recommend. This is a journaling technique that I created in a video that I made back in 2021, and it still works. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's actually just about getting out of your own way. So try it and watch what you start to manifest in your life after doing this technique.
So self-worth is a funny thing because it's highly associated with our ego, in fact. And so the reason for that is because our ego actually lies within the amygdala, right? And within the amygdala, it's responsible for detecting threat and protecting us from danger. The problem is, as our ego has evolved in a society that was at one time probably had real threats, a long time ago, real threats in our day-to-day life and had to keep us in survival mode, the way that our society has evolved has made it so we really generally have less threat in our daily lives. And so the ego has also evolved with that. And so instead of searching for actual danger, it perceives social rejection as a death threat, as life-threatening. And so shame is what is associated with the ego. And shame is associated with a sense of self-worth. See where I'm going here? So we've got the ego now believes that anytime that you are socially rejected, that you are going to have your life threatened. And that's why so many of us feel like we're not worthy, because even the littlest social rejections are kind of a big deal in our brain. It's innately wired into our brain. And so that's why we really need to learn how to overcome both our ego, and we can not necessarily overcome entirely because the ego has a purpose, but overcome the excessive use of our ego by creating self-worth from within. Because when we have self-worth from within, we don't perceive every microscopic little rejection and shame as a huge deal, because we have the power from within. So the number one way to overcome this and really step into your self-worth is with my absolute favorite journaling exercise. And so I'm going to explain this to you guys, and I want you guys to know that I go through this process even more detailed explanation in my Flow State Warriors program, and you can check that out with the link below. We also have a 30-day free 30-day journaling challenge, which you can also check out with the link below, and that really helps you step into your highest self in all avenues of your life, not just self-worth, but also with your confidence and your purpose and your passions, desires. Okay, so let's get into it.
Hey, quick pause in this video. So I have been making videos for years now, but this is technically a brand new channel. My sister Isabel and I used to run a joint channel with our mom, and when she pivoted into a astrology content specific channel, I branched off to focus on mindset and personal growth and empowering you. So here at Be the Hero Academy, me and my mom are on a mission to hit 10,000 subscribers in 90 days and rebuild our amazing community. So if you are vibing with our videos, if this content resonates, drop a like, hit subscribe, and help us grow this channel from the ground up. We really, really appreciate your support. Okay, back to the video.
So the process is what I call flip the script, right? And flip the script starts by first we have to observe and identify our self-limiting beliefs. So what I have people do in my Flow State Warriors program is I have people carry around what I call a WTF journal, a words, thoughts, feelings journal, and anytime a word, thought, or feeling comes up that makes you say WTF in your head, right? What really, words, thoughts, feelings, are you kidding me? Like, I'm feeling this again, I'm thinking this again. That's a self-limiting belief that you just identified. And so what you really have to do, this process of identifying might come easy to some, and some people might find this difficult still. And it's your process, your journey. It just depends on what level of self-development you're currently at in your life. But this is key, because once you can do this, then the easy part comes next. Because let's say you go through your life and someone makes you upset, and maybe you say it makes you upset, but you might identify at the core of that, it made you upset because that person made you feel like you weren't enough. And so maybe you just reacted with anger. And that doesn't matter how you reacted. What you have to identify is how it made you really feel at the core. And you have to get to this by asking yourself why and why and why. Because you have to first identify, this scenario happened and I felt upset, right? Okay, why did you feel upset? Oh, because, this person made me feel bad about myself. Oh, okay, why did you make you feel bad about myself? Because I already have this preconceived notion that I'm not enough for this specific person because of this specific reason. Well, there you go. And now if you go one step further, you'll probably get to a one-sentence self-limiting belief. Okay, and let's just, for the sake of this, because we're talking about self-worth, let's just say the self-limiting belief is I'm not enough. Okay, so now the easy part comes. All you have to do is flip the script, and all you have to do is you're going to flip the script and say, instead of I'm not enough, well, you say, yes, I am enough, I am powerful, I am enough, and you come up with all these antithesis statements about yourself that are positive and empowering, and you write those every single day, and you repeat them out loud to yourself every single day. Even more powerful, record yourself speaking into like a voice memo or a recording, and you listen to that every night as you go to sleep when you're entering those theta brainwaves and your brain is most receptive. And all of a sudden, you're going to be able to not only step into your self-worth, but you're also going to just suddenly believe it about yourself. It's not just this process of, cerebral process of I'm just going to write these things, think it. You have to really let it sink into your subconscious. But the key comes in the beginning part, because a lot of times people get stuck on the beginning part because, one, they don't observe all their emotions they're feeling throughout the day, or observe all their negative thought patterns they're observing throughout their day. And then after that, it's very difficult to ask yourself why. And in my course, I really help people go through the process in a more simplified, like, okay, now what you're going to do next is this and this. But the simple general overview, if you can understand this, you'll have all the tools you need on your own. But you really have to just, once you identify that, right? And that's, like I said, you have to be good about identifying the emotion and the thoughts and the feelings. But then you have to ask yourself why. And you might get stumped, but I encourage you to stay present with the journaling process, because if you can journal through this, you're going to really find your true sense of self-worth, because you're going to be able to finish this process. And so you identify and you have to ask yourself why, and you might have to sit and meditate and think about it. Why do you have this belief? Why do you have this program? Where in your life has this come up? Why do you believe that you are not enough? Because now you get to flip it and you are enough. You're empowered, and you can make a specific statement that is totally the opposite of what you believe about yourself. And that's what's specific about this self-worth journaling exercise, is because you're going to create a flipped version of one specific statement.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you try this journal prompt, I'd love to hear what came up for you, what worked for you, what didn't. Comment below with the word unlocked if this is something that helped you, if something shifted while you're in the writing process, if you liked it, if it made you think of something you hadn't thought of before. And if you watched through this whole video, you've probably heard me mention throughout the video this program that I made called Flow State Warriors, which is still available if you're looking to go deeper. But to be honest with you, I actually created something even better in the last 4 years. It's completely free, and it's called the 5 Scripts to Eliminate Unworthiness. In other words, that feeling, that voice in your head that tells you I'm not enough. It's a PDF, and it gives you the exact mindset shifts that help me to get unstuck, reclaim my self-worth, and truly feel confident in my own skin. The link is in the description down below, so you can go grab it if you're interested. Remember that if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, and if you don't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.